Hi, Chandler Nazarene. It's Jordan here. Today, the Thursday before Good Friday, is known as Maundy Thursday. The word Maundy is derived from the Latin word for command. The Maundy in Maundy Thursday refers to the command Jesus gave to the disciples at the Last Supper, that they should love and serve one another. The Apostle John tells this part of Jesus' story in chapter 13, verses 3 through 17, and it is such a beautiful passage showing how great and deep God's love is for us, and also our responsibility in sharing this love. It says, Jesus knew that the Father had given him authority over everything, and that he had come from God and would return to God. He got up from the table, took off his robe, wrapped a towel around his waist, and poured water into a basin. Then he began to wash the disciples' feet, drying them with the towel he had around him. When Jesus came to Simon Peter, Peter said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus replied, "You don't understand now what I am doing, but someday you will." "No," Peter protested, "you will never, ever wash my feet." Jesus replied, "Unless I wash you, you won't belong to me." Simon Peter exclaimed, "Then wash my hands and head as well, Lord, not just my feet." Jesus replied, "A person who is bathed all over does not need to wash, except for the feet, to be entirely clean. And you disciples are clean, but not all of you." For Jesus knew who would betray him. That is what he meant when he said, "Not all of you are clean." After washing their feet, he put on his robe again and sat down and asked, "Do you understand what I was doing? You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right, because that's what I am. And since I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you ought to wash each other's feet. I have given you an example to follow. Do as I have done to you. I tell you the truth. Slaves are not greater than their master, nor is the messenger more important than the one who sends the message. Now that you know these things, God will bless you for doing them." Jesus' love is expressed through action. He loves his disciples to the bitter end, but he shows it, expresses it, by behaving as a household servant. He has been preaching this message to them all along, but at the very end of his earthly ministry, he chooses to spend it on his knees, washing the feet of the men he has spent so much time with. But then he tells them that this is the way God will bless them, by humbling themselves and taking on the jobs that they think are not theirs. How often do we covet the menial jobs, the day-to-day, plain vanilla, no one notices jobs? Jesus tells us this is where we need to be living. This is where God will bless us, loving those around us by caring for their ordinary needs. This is such a time when God's people can show their love. In the midst of fear, we can breathe peace. In the midst of pain, we can share healing. In the midst of uncertainty, we can be confident. Lord, help us to love you better by loving the people you put in our lives. Amen.